No, you're supposed to do this.
Wow, they just keep arriving.
Oh, fuck.
All right, at least shut the door so we don't get kicked out of this building.
Oh, wait, what with the door? I'm taking out my hoops.
This is.
I
You guys know how this works on Twitch.
I never thought.
You're supposed
shirt
to.
off.
Jesus.
I never
turn
thought
the
you guys
camera
we'd all be in the same room together.
How many mics do we have? Are we gonna fight now? Is this a rumble?
Can we turn? Can we? You got to switch to this camera here so that you can see everybody.
Where's Liz?
Where's that camera? Oh, there it is. Yes, we just got raided.
Wait, where's Liz Brunig?
She has
She was
children to
smart
take
enough to
care
realize
of.
to get out
So
of
do
there.
I, and I'm here.
Me too, for God's sakes. Apparently, my
enough.
son has an earache, but I've been getting messages to that effect.
I kind of had one more point about this that I wanted to hit whenever.
All right. Well, let me just I think the point that happened with Dean was I think that he lost his momentum when Saddam Hussein was captured because the country snapped back into its psychosis.
I don't think that's right because that happened over 1 month before the Iowa caucus, and at the beginning of the year, the polls 3 weeks out from the Iowa caucus showed that Dean and Gephardt were still on top, and it wasn't until the last fucking 14 days that Iowans, in their infinite wisdom, said, "No, we like the Boston Brahmin."
Oh wow,
Do the shepherd's
this just got real.
We're about to lose our
So
lease.
I have to move
Okay, does someone
car
want to sit with me?
by midnight.
All right. Well,
Matt, do you want to sit on my lap?
Matt,
let's let everybody.
let's
march
get him
through
out.
it.
Let's
Matt is the only sensible
you can-
Chapo.
Matt-
By the way, Matt is the only sensible.
Matt, you can share on my.
Actually, I am gonna get a ticket.
We.
Cannot move my car. Okay, so
All right.
I would.
Let Jamie say.
Okay, the Dean stuff, fascinating. But I would just like to bring it back a little bit to what you said about Bernie expanding the electorate. This is a point I meant to hit last time, but didn't because it was somewhat chaotic, although not as chaotic as it is right now, which is all these arguments about turnout versus persuasion. Those two strategies do not conflict with one another. And this is a surprise to a lot of people who think, oh, you know, these left-wing populist policies are only going to appeal to these disaffected losers or whatever. Their words, not mine. And if you want to win the swing voters who actually vote, you need to move to the center. I believe it was an article by Eric Levitz, maybe I'm wrong, but we've cited it before on this show, that said these policies are actually popular among swing voters as well. If you poll them about Medicare for all, if you poll them about universal college, these are universal programs that help everyone in the working class, and they help turnout and persuasion, which kind of blows liberal minds, I think.
There you go.
No, Virgil, at all. No traitors. He's just in my ear saying, "I'm Littlefinger." Yeah, that beloved character that everyone trusted. And
Everyone
loved.
loves
The guy whose death was certainly not cheered by everyone watching the show.
Fan service.
I would just like to add to that to say that when I watch these debates, I mostly want to kill myself. And the only thing that's
Everyone around you?
And the only thing that's no, I said I want to, not that I will. And the only thing that stops me is the thought that the people who are going to decide this election, the people who are going to prove the truth or falsity of the Sanders electoral thesis, are not watching this garbage. Because if it's up to the people who watch this and absorb electoral politics through the frame created by the nitwits at CNN and like the fucking the Waffen SS lady who did from the Des Moines Register. Mrs. Schickelgruber, whatever her name was. I mean, if that's the case, we're doomed. The only way to win is if the people are going to be moved by their lives and not by the ridiculous pageantry that these frauds and oafs create.
But wait a second. Do you think Frau Hickenlooper necessarily helped a specific candidate?
I mean, I will admit, I will stipulate that we checked out halfway through because we all were very depressed.
All the Chapo guys came down and were like, What happened in the second half of the debate?
By the way, y'all gonna flex on viewer numbers.
What happened in the second half of it?
Y'all gonna flex on viewer numbers. We stopped watching halfway through, and the entire thing was streamed on our phone with one microphone. But anyway,
Oh, by the way, Sam, nice Webby award in your bathroom.
I was
well,
gonna say
Thank you.
flexing about this Webby.
Got him.
I'm a New York Times bestselling author. They don't give you you don't need a certificate for that. It just becomes a part of who
Can
you
someone
are.
break out our YouTube
That's a part of
award?
your Twitter bio.
We have
That's
it
for
somewhere.
sure.
I gotta hang that thing in the bathroom.
I thought the way that the pivotal moment was the moment about the Warren accusation, and she handled that like she was given an envelope from Central Command to let Warren off the hook, because what everyone saw when she made this absurd accusation that no one believed is, how is she going to respond to the demand to actually say yes or no? Did he say this? And instead, after Bernie made a categorical denial, she says, how did it feel when he said that to you?
That's what I said.
That's the moment. And it's like, at that point, I'm sorry, your grandfather, condolences he fell out of that car tower, but fuck off.
She did the denying for her.
Parody.
Operating with fucking training wheels. It's embarrassing.
But do you think that's going to resonate with anybody? I honestly think that, like, outside of people who are already like sort of invested and that moment just sort of like went in and out. It was so.
Maybe
here's the thing-
not,
well,
but
here's
it
the-
still doesn't reflect well on them.
We got to respond to that.
on CNN.
On the lamestream media.
Oh no, I agree.
What I don't like, and I mean, I think this is like a big thing that the Bernie Sanders campaign is fighting against, by the fact that when they have people go and canvass for Bernie Sanders, they're not just trying to canvass among people who are guaranteed canvassers. Guaranteed caucusers. They are going to canvass the people who, because the Iowa caucus has same-day registration, to canvass the people who are outside of the political system.
That's not. I mean, I canvassed for Kerry. We did not, we went to everyone's house. We went to everyone's house.
And that, hang on. And Barine, that is an actual strategic consideration, because I think most people who are political consultants will say that, hey, your bigger ROI is we're going to go after people who go to every Iowa caucus, because that should be clear, because that's easier to get them. Because when you want someone who is alienated from the political system to get them to go to a caucus, like, you have two asks versus having one ask.
Right. But Bernie's theory is completely different, right? Bernie's theory is completely different.
Bernie's theory is different, and that's really the gamble
Streaming
right
this?
now, and that's why all of us are
Facebook
biting our
Live
nails right now, because if he pulls it off and he wins in the Iowa caucus, he wins big and he beats the polls, that will be the proof positive that the revolution is real and that we are not just taking over the Democratic Party. We will beat Donald Trump by bringing millions of people in.
Sound more and more like Bernie. Why has that happened?
I mean, I think this is to a large extent, and obviously it cuts against what our revenue source here. But I think I think a lot of when we're talking about 2020 is just been commentary, and the bottom line is that there is not going to be an answer until Bernie Sanders' theory of change is either proven or disproven in Iowa.
Sam, I know you're concerned that a lot of your fans watching this right now will hear this fucking truth and realize, oh, I've wasted my life. Because and we talk, and I
certainly know
this
that
is what I mentioned.
feel
This is
that
what
way.
I mentioned.
I personally feel that
This
way.
is what I mentioned. This is what I mentioned.
can
This is
somehow
what
make
I
sure
brought
that
up
everybody else
on
feels that way, I
the
would
weekend
feel actually
episode
better about it.
of our program, Chapo Trap House. Once again,
I'm
you
sorry,
can Google Chapo
you're with
Trap
Slow
House.
Burn, right?
Once again. That one of the top reply guys of online, Sean.
One of the top reply guys of online.
One of the top. No, one of them. No. One of the most loyal bannermen, Sean Moorhead. Shout out to Sean. He said, hey, one thing I never realized, one thing I never thought would happen when going door to door for Bernie Sanders would be to knock on a door and have someone say, "Who the fuck is Bernie Sanders?" That to me is where the center of gravity is.
That's
When
who's
it comes
going to
politics,
win this
it's
election
not
for
people
him
who
or
have
not.
chosen to adopt politics as their personality, as we all have in this fucking room.
And that's what makes it so hard to comment on this stuff because, as we said, this is a black box. We won't know until Iowa. So we're really dealing with an obsolete model of, like, when we talk about who's watching this stuff, the hogs, the undifferentiated swine watching a debate, like, if that's
not
the electorate,
watching, it's
there will be
fine.
no change ever because, as I said, they're hogs.
At the Cafe Press Sam Cedars show.
So the thing that I took
Those are
was good
union
because,
men.
like, when I try to imagine the mind of the hog who watches this, I can't do it. I get confused. My head starts hurting. So I have to, like, look for the bright side. And the bright side for me is that they gave Amy Klobuchar a lot of smoke. She got a question before Liz Warren did. And that if this does contribute to some sort of Klobuchar boomlet, that will almost by definition take away, I'd say almost equally, from Biden, Buttigieg, and Warren.
Club.
And reduce their likelihood of getting above Sanders, regardless of whatever is happening outside of the political system that, like we said, we're only guessing at.
I can't wait to find out that only 25,000 people watched the debate after all of this.
And they were all streaming it on Twitch.
Exactly.
All of them.
Well,
all of them.
we should probably go because we're going to do a show.
No, Will
in
Menaker
12
hasn't even
hours.
said anything.
Will, get
Wait,
in
wait,
here.
Will.
Hold on. Let's hear
say
Will.
something.
Will, what is
Will,
your
so-
shirt? I like it very much.
Thank you. Does this violate TOS? The T-shirt very heavily advertises the
This
use
violates the
of-
TOS, and actually, as part of our international effort to expand our IP laws, we will not allow you.
We've already
I've worn online ceramic shirts
digitized
at
that
this
out.
studio.
Okay,
That's
excellent.
fine.
All right, we'll blur this out, but
We'll
Parody in the game.
We'll
The
bl-
shirt is parody.
We'll blur it out like Tom Steyer's neck camel toe.
Stealing my goddamn joke.
Well, how much
Oh, we
are
all
we
saw it.
wasting
We
our
all saw
time
it,
here?
sure.
I mean, I don't think it's we're wasting our time paying attention. Like I said just the other day that part of the fact that, like, Bernie Sanders is in this race with a really good shot of being the nominee and a really good shot of being the president, I don't think anyone's wasting their time.
Right.
And I think we all have to risk being disappointed, being losing, being owned, posting cringe. We just have to you have to
Post your cringe. Post your cringe.
Don't be scared to get corny on Maine.
Something I've noticed,
We have to
and
be
this
willing
makes me feel.
to take the knee to Amy Klobuchar in the event.
no, but
Also,
like,
Sam, that this makes me feel really, really good is I don't know if you know me, but I'm kind of a cut up, and I post some goof 'em ups online.
yeah, you cut up our fucking stream tonight, dude, by editing yourself out of it.
I posted.
I'm sorry, Sam. Sam, I'm sorry. Sam, I apologize. It's my fault.
Oh, wait, did you find them outside when you
No,
were
I found
smoking?
them. I found them outside, and I told them to come up here.
that's what I
So I
thought.
apologize.
No,
I was
Take you anywhere.
so
Cut off.
Okay, look, I posted some parodies
cringe?
of things
Did you
that
post
say
cringe?
a war. No,
Sir, at long last, sir, did you post cringe?
when I posted it, it was epic. I posted
2020.
some parodies of the kind of dust-ups that have happened in the past few days, such as a parody that Elizabeth Warren supporter might text a Bernie Sanders supporter, all that kind of bullshit. And what I noticed was a lot of people responded who were Bernie supporters, and they were normies. And they said, have you seen that this has been debunked yet? And that made me feel so good because that made me realize, holy shit, Bernie is reaching the normies. He is not just reaching the irony poisoned podcast Twitch stream viewers. No, he is reaching like normal people who are just like, hey, I want Medicare for all. I want to eliminate the private health
those
insurance company.
normal
And
people
that's
who
good.
like to
Holy
be
shit.
Virgil Turdy.
You cannot have a revolution without normies.
Let's let Will say what
Hold on, Will's got. Will
only
is in the
sane
middle of
one of
something very sentimental.
That's getting real.
No, I'm like, keep it real, like, along the lines of what I was saying. that I don't think I genuinely don't think that anyone is wasting their time, provided you are dedicated 100% to electing Bernie, making him the nominee and the president of the United States of America. Like the thing is, like everyone fears losing, right?
Yep.
Or the embarrassment, or like not getting what you want, right? But I think for a lot of people, unspoken is an even bigger fear that you will get what you want, that he will become president, and then you'll be accountable for it.
Right.
And I think like everyone has to get over
And
that.
we'll have to keep holding him accountable as well.
Sure.
And providing the grassroots support to actually do the things that he wants to do.
But I think Will's
like,
point.
Well, I'm not scared of-
The idea is like
Our politics, when people go out on a limb, that is where our politics fails. That we don't have people who are willing to do that. They're not willing to vote against the war because they're afraid of I can't remember what after school special it was, but they were trying to convince one of the senators. I don't even know if this was actually accurate, but historically. But there was one holdout to sign the Declaration of Independence and this after-school special. They were like, "Do you want to be the guy known in history as the guy not to sign it?" And he was like, "Oh, okay, I'll sign it." Like that was just that huge. I think that is
someone asked me online the other day, what would be the outcome of this election that would be least funny for your show? And the answer is 1,000% a Sanders presidency.
1,000,000%.
That would be.
It'd be very.
We're literally like trying to kill the golden goose that we're all riding on.
No, but the fact of the matter is, it's like you
noble of us,
can't. It's
really.
like a monkey's paw wish. You can't fear getting what you want and then having it fulfilled in some ironic Twilight Zone kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
But the point of the matter is, the stakes are such that, and the candidate like Bernie Sanders, which has not ever happened in my lifetime, is such that you have to risk everything. Yep. You have to risk it all. And if you're not doing that, you are wasting your
And
time.
every other candidate we saw on stage, every single other candidate we saw on stage was making. Tom Steyer was making noises about
I'm out.
Medicare for all, and
Mic
Elizabeth
drop
Warren
from Will.
was making noises about big structural change. And
Well-
for a fact, it's all a lie. It's all bullshit. Because the actual transformation that has to happen in this society, which is not just a structural transformation in terms of Washington, in terms of the federal...
Eric Bogosian is trapped in the entryway
federal,
right now, by the way.
The federal social safety net, in terms of these federal programs, but also the transformation of, like, the creation, the instigation of a new imaginative concept of the future.
And
Which
what it
is
requires-
a good future and not a bad future, which everyone wakes up every day and thinks, oh yeah, things are just getting fucking worse.
But
you ask any fucking person, what do you think that 5 years from now is going to be? They will say way worse.
But the reason that is because people are operating from the assumption of politics as you wait around, you watch this stuff, you comment, you create maybe you create an identity around politics, but mostly you sit on your ass and watch TV until every 2 to 4 years you fucking push a button. And if that's the model, then even a Bernie presidency will be a failure. The Bernie presidency has to be the start of a radical realignment of the way Americans relate to politics, the way that they feel themselves as political beings.
Yeah, preach on it. And I really hate that the word empowerment has been so fucking denigrated, because that's what it actually means. The idea that you as an individual will have an ability to not have like individual empowerment on like a personal, like, oh, I do yoga level, but no, an empowerment that emanates from I am with millions of other people and we are collectively creating action.
Yo, we're just kind of nice with it. What do you think?
And he is condemned. All
right, Sam.
I think you guys. There's a lot of people in the chat who are saying that you guys should go on Chapo.
By the way,
Virgil, go on Chapo.
By the way, 50% of your listeners are officially counted as our listeners, so we have officially beaten Sam Cedar.
There you go. There you
We
go.
will be taking the Webby Award out of the bathroom.
That actually is expensive to apply to.
Take all the Air America emails out of the bathroom, please.
There's actually an amazing story about that email.
I have always wanted to ask about that, but I
That's
feel like
that's
now
an
it's not the
entire
time.
episode.
Some
That's an
other
entire
time.
episode.
I wanna
but
do- I
incidentally,
wanna-
speaking of episodes, Clear Channel is doing what I had talked about with you about starting an all FM channel of just podcasts. But we can talk about that later. Folks,
Interesting.
I just saw that article today.
Interesting.
We will be back in.
Oh, by the way, subscribe to the New Republic.
Subscribe to the New Republic.
Patreon.com/the
Alex Perrine. Check out Chapo Trap House. Apparently, they need some help on their Patreon page.
Oh, one other thing. We went to Iowa and we shot a documentary,
Yes.
which you saw.
I haven't watched it yet, but it's released in what, a couple of days?
It's released in a few days, and it's
Where can they go? What website?
IowaGoodVibes.com. You can get it for $1.99.
IowaGoodVibes.com. Also, subscribe to the New Republic. It's so much better than it was.
It's a lot better.
It's the New Republic. Exactly. And there's a clip of the trailer. We're not going to play it because we've got to be back here in just about 12 hours. We've just made the turnaround time for Union Rules if we were production. And there you go. So we will see you tomorrow at noon, and bye.